start with yesterday's severe storms that marched all across, well, not all across, but from Dallas to Houston is where they marched, and they had a lot of damage all along the way. I'm sure you remember yesterday afternoon when these storms came rolling into the Houston area. Well, it started up in Dallas as early as 6 in the morning or before sunrise with lots of hail, lots of wind damage, lots of power outages. Many of the things that we've been dealing with ourselves, they got a good sample of with that yesterday, and lots of problems continuing to happen. And then those storms pretty much just rolled right down Interstate 45 into the Houston area. We're still gathering more storm reports, so we don't have nearly the intensity of the number of reports that they had, but our winds were certainly strong and also quite a bit of damage across the area. Our power outages were able to recover, I think, a little bit quicker because of some of the recent storms that we've had, but we still had wind damage as well as quite a bit of hail to deal with. So some wind observations. These are actual reports of wind gusts as high as 75 miles an hour at Bush Intercontinental Airport. Galveston had a 67-mile-an-hour wind, and we knew we were in trouble, or that there would be some problems, when Huntsville, the very northern portions of our viewing area, clocked that 67-mile-an-hour wind. We knew it was getting ready to really have that kind of trouble for the rest of us. Even Pearland, as far as south, made a 66-mile-an-hour wind, and then Hobby Airport also at 60 miles an hour. So this morning, we were left with a bit of a cooler morning, maybe even a little less humidity because of those north winds, as well as that cooler end to our day yesterday with the rains cooling us off. We actually had temperatures in the upper 60s in the afternoon right after that rain came through, which is just something we haven't had around Houston area in a very long time. Currently, we're looking at about 78 degrees, winds out of the east at around 6 miles an hour. Our dew points are back into the 70s, so there is still plenty of humidity that's lingering around out there. So on our futurecast for the rest of today, you'll see showers popping up as a possibility. This is about 4:30 on our time frame here, but watch what happens once we begin to get closer to sunset. Things are expected to become a little bit more active overall. At this point, severe weather is not expected, but an isolated chance of that certainly could pop up. So we do have, or we are included at least, in that 1 out of 5 threat for a severe storm. So once again, that's an inch or more on hail size, strong winds, or tornadoes. Tornadoes is not something that we're expecting this evening, but as I mentioned, this is primarily going to be happening late in the day when these stormier situations are going to pop up. Later in the day as well, we are looking for some stormy weather out further over to the west for us. And then I'm jumping ahead now to Friday, where early in the morning it looks like we could have another round of some stronger storms, and the Storm Prediction Center has us at 2 out of 5 threat as far as on, again, Friday morning early. So looking at the rain expectations over the next 5 days, specifically on the accumulation, you'll notice that the stronger storms, more rain expected to fall north of Houston, even really just along the state line there of Oklahoma and Texas and the North Texas. We're certainly going to have some rain in the forecast. We're going to do that late in the day today. We're going to do it possibly in the afternoon tomorrow, really more likely in the early morning hours on Friday, and then isolated the scattered showers on Saturday. And when we get into Sunday, we begin dropping those rain chances just a little bit. So the scenario is this high pressure ridge that was more or less centered over Mexico, that kept us very dry for the previous week. But then that high pressure has slid over just a little bit. So in the upper levels of the atmosphere, you're going to notice the rain sort of riding along this ridge. Notice how we just sort of continue to have a rainy pattern possible right across this eastern section of Texas. And so that's why we enter several days of unsettled weather, because that high pressure ridge, it's far enough away from us. We're just kind of getting caught on the edge of it somewhat. So in our futurecast, as I talked about, we get into 6 o'clock or so tonight. We're going to look for some isolated showers and some storms more later on. Here's the Thursday afternoon rain possibilities firing up across the area. And then probably it's early Friday morning, we have another line of organized storms that start entering into the Fox 26 viewing area. So I'm going to keep our rain chances at least 50% or more for the rest of the week. Saturday right now looks about a 40% chance of rain. You will notice with the higher rain chances, though, we have lower temperatures. So we're not in the mid to the upper 90s. We're in the lower 80s. That's even a degree or two cooler than what our seasonal averages are. And then, as I mentioned, we start drying out on Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. And when we dry out, we have less rain. Well, that means the sunshine gets to do more of its work, and that'll be warming us back up into the 90s once again. All right, we are excited that you're checking in with us right now. Maybe you're using Fox Local. Maybe you're on your device. However that is, we'll be back here again at noon, but also on the TV. So feel free to flip that on as well. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes or so for Fox 26 News at noon.
Citizens